I've got a question for you.
Sure.
In the background of your pictures, you always use the colors that you've used on your main subject. Why is that? You probably answered it, but
Color harmony
okay.
throughout the painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the colors that are in that photo, but I think it's improved when you have, and I wasn't really that far off. I just didn't do that intense of a green back there.
Right.
I mean, to a certain extent, when you take photos of things that are outdoors, to a certain extent, there is going to already be a certain amount of natural color harmony going on, especially in a landscape. It just works that way. And with the animal, wild animals in the landscape, they have a sort of natural color harmony to them also. What happens when you can have like some jarring color harmony is when you just have like man-made items. I have a smudge on my face. Oh. Man-made items in a picture, and yeah, I mean, I can't even think of an example right now, but
well, it makes sense. I've noticed that you've done it all the time. I just never ask.
Well, sometimes too, thinking about color is kind of it's like a whole, long research project in itself. We had the color theory class in college where we had to take, we had to mix colors and we had to match colors and we had to come up with color schemes and all that kind of stuff. And, when you're in a college-aged person, you're not really into that much. It's sometimes pretty difficult to do, but that's one of those things, like along with composition, it comes with studying and practicing and visiting museums and looking at great art is a great way to just kind of let the influences sort of sink in as far as like what good color harmony is. Like, okay, I'll show you an example of bad color harmony. Is this green lid of this water bottle in this red and purple, bluish purple holder. I mean, there's none of this green. I mean, my walls are not even this green. They're a different sort of green altogether. So what you're seeing right here is kind of like, if I put this out of the picture, I kind of have good color harmony within my studio. Except maybe for the red and the purple here, but if I was wearing black, I'd have good color harmony. My skin, it kind of echoes the brown of my drawing board. And, my hair is kind of black and gray, and it kind of picks up the highlights on my tablet. And, but when you introduce this green lid, your eye just goes straight to it because it's the odd man out. And, unless you're going to do this painting and make it all about the green lid, you don't want that kind of jarring color in a composition unless you're trying to call attention to something in particular.
Okay.
So that's kind of a simplified example, but...
Well, I appreciate it. It's disquieting. That green is disquieting in the environment that it is.
See, like this would be a better color harmony if my lid was black, because then it would match my string and the handle and the strap and the tablet and, whatever. But it's fun to play with colors. We had in that college class, we had this really expensive, in the 80s it was really expensive, I think it was like $55 or something, for this box of Pantone color swatches. It's like hundreds of these color things, like a 6x8 pieces of all the different colors in the Pantone color system. And we had to buy this box, and they were really nice swatches. They were kind of like made sort of the same way you'd get like a paint chip at a store, a color chip. But we had to do all of our projects with those swatches. And, you'd play with them and find colors that harmonized, and we had to do like, the different color schemes like analogous or triad or complementary or split complementary or whatever, to do all that kind of thing. We'd have to find colors that would fit into those schemes that looked good together. And then we'd have to cut them into pieces and glue them into shapes, simple shapes, with varying percentages of these colors to make an interesting little design. And that was a lot of fun. It's just like composition and color harmony at its basic level. But
well, it's interesting to know, not having college courses, of course, in art, but everything that I can learn, it helps.
Yeah, maybe, I'm kind of sorry. This is an interesting conversation, so I'm kind of sorry that I don't teach that kind of thing. But I don't know. I'd have to do research myself because it's been so long. I hate research. I prefer world experience. I prefer experimenting my own work and seeing what will work, what I think looks good and what doesn't, If something doesn't work, depending on my mood, I'll either be like, that didn't work, and I'll do something else. Or if my brain is sharp that day, I can look at it and say, why is this not working? And I can look at it until it tells me why it's not working. But just to, maybe there's a class on color somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you come here and watch me paint. Maybe somebody else is doing like a Zoom class on color theory.
I'll have to research it.
But
I will, because it's a fascinating subject.
But value, the one thing I have to say about color is that value is more important than color. In an entire composition, it's value first. And then, the easiest way to ease into color is to kind of do how I'm doing it. Start with values. And if they're not black and white and gray values, which is fine, just make it a single color values. It's almost kind of like what I'm doing. I mean, technically I have two colors, but it's almost like single color because they're very harmonious in the same like color field. Orange, basically. Dark to light. And then as you add color, just pick one more color to add, and that's it. Think to yourself, what is this, pick blue. And say, okay, what in this painting needs to be blue instead of orange? And just put bits of blue, but always keep in mind the value of that blue.
That's imprinted on my head, in my mind.
Yeah. Or what you can do is, that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? To do like a 2-color painting, to do a single color pastel painting on top of my underpainting. On top of the orange, it'd have the orange, the gold, and the terracotta. So I'd have that color scheme in there. And then to pick a blue and find like 3 or 4 values of that same blue color and just use those in the painting.
Oh, yeah.
Would actually end up being, if I could also do white and black. And usually, honestly, in like the college classes where they say 2 colors, they mean 2 colors plus white and black.
Oh,
so
okay.
You can always use white and black because mainly, I'll tell you why they do that, is because mainly when they're doing it, they're not doing it with pastels or pencils. You can't like pick all of your values of your color. You have to mix your color with white and black to make the lighter values and the darker values. So that's why they say, if you're going to do complementary color, like I had to do a landscape, or I had to do a painting, I picked a landscape in complementary colors. So when I did that, I picked red and green, and I did a landscape because it's so easy to do a landscape with red and green. Red and green together make all kinds of brown. And, when you have white and black in there too, you've got like pink, you've got pale green, you've got a ton of colors with red and green, white and black. But your result is that you'll have amazing color harmony because everything in there was mixed from red and green and white and black. So you can try that sometime if you use paints, if you mix your paints. And I did another painting. And this was with oil too, way back. This one I wound up with psychological issues with mixing paint colors. But I did do a painting with blue and orange and white and black. And I did a painting of a statue, and worked from a photo that I had. A statue in a cathedral or something, a statue of Mary with light shining in on it. Looked pretty good, I guess, for college work. But it was all blue and orange. It was mostly a blue, sort of, but I got all the values in with the white and black, blue and orange. And it really is amazing how many colors you can get. I mean, to think about it, every color is mixed from some sort of red, blue, and yellow, because those are the primaries.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think it's the American. Can't think of the title, but they'll tell you that they've added blue or black to the color as it goes down.
oh, okay.
Can't even tell you which one it is, but
Okay.
it is fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah, if a particular pigment has a quality to it, like say this is red, it's like the pure red pigment. Well, yeah, in order to make it darker, you have to add the black or some other darker value to it. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's amazing. I'm just going to have to study. Not coming from that background, but it's interesting to learn everything I can.
Don't study too hard
Okay.
before you put it into action
Okay.
and experiment. Because, I mean, I don't know. Well, I shouldn't say that, because different people have different learning styles. Some people learn better by reading and like
I'm
watching.
visual.
And some people learn better by hearing. That's not me. I don't learn very well by listening. And some people learn better by doing. And I'm a combination of the visual and the kinesthetic, it's called. I learned these things when I homeschooled my kids. It's different homeschooling styles. Children will learn different ways.
Oh,
But then I realized, yeah, that's what I am. I'm not an auditory learner. I'm a visual and a kinesthetic. But
huh. Yeah, I'm visual
yeah,
and proud of it.
yeah. Well, most artists I think, have a pretty large percentage of visual learning. I think it's kind of comes with the territory. Anyway, okay. Well, it's almost 3 now, so that was a nice chat. Thanks for sticking around.
Well, thank you for answering, and you've brought a lot of issues up in my mind that I want to look into and try.
All right.
Okay.
And this is
thank
cool
you.
because this will be a nice little supplement that I can separate and put as a public post.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. See you
And
on
have a good-
Saturday. Hope to see you Saturday for the paint along.
I'm going to be out of town, but I'll miss it. But I'll watch your Patreon.
Bye.
So have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Bye. Thanks.
Bye.